Hi everyone. Let me start by saying welcome to Widener University, and then welcome to the online program, and finally welcome to interpersonal processes. I'm Dr. Ginny Folk New. Students call me Ginny, or Dr. New, Dr. Folk New, Professor New. I don't know, any combination of those things I'm fine with. And I will be with you in this first 7-week course. You will see just how fast these 7-week courses fly by. So this course is set up to give you an opportunity to learn about the program, to learn about the work that is involved in being in a master's degree program. So, in your bachelor's program, there was a certain level of work. Maybe there was a certain amount of testing. In the master's program, you're actually focusing more on writing about things, analyzing things, and reporting out about things. So this course is focused on interpersonal processes as a foundation for understanding people and how they interact with other people, individually, with themselves, and in larger groups. And you need to know that as a clinical social worker because you will be working with people. And so understanding people is pretty critical to that. You will also be working with each other throughout the program. You will have any number of group projects, dyad projects, triad projects, different courses. And the whole idea behind that is to keep you engaged with each other. We do the same thing as what we would in a in-class program. All right, so let's get to what's this video all about? Well, every week I make a video for you. And that video will cover what you're going to do for that week. And if we were in a classroom, I would talk to you about assignments and expectations and books, reading, and course material and things like that. So in the absence of being able to actually see you and interact with you directly, I do this through a video. Now, I'm more than happy to organize a Zoom meeting if folks would like to meet in that way, maybe to answer some questions or to understand a concept. That's fine. The whole program, though, is mainly set up in the program here in the course to be asynchronous, except for the small group work and dyad group work that you will have. Okay? All right, so this is an overview of the course, kind of give you the lay of the land here. I've put what I have here in student view, so this is what you should be seeing when you go into the course. None of the courses open until Friday before the course begins. And so here you can see there are assignments here. And then this is a description of the overall course. Some quick links that you might need. Over here on the left, you might, hopefully you've had orientation, but the one thing I want you to pay attention to is the inbox, because if you need to get in touch with me about something, using the inbox is the way to go. I have thousands of emails in my WooMail, and so I would prefer that you actually message me in Canvas in the inbox, because I don't want to lose your emails. If you email me in my regular email, I might not get it. Well, and here's the bonus. So you message me in Canvas, and Canvas sends a message to me in my regular mail. So I know that I have a message waiting for me here. I check messages once or twice a day, depending on what my day is like, and I try to be responsive to students. But that, of course, depends on what my day is like. Some days it's like all meetings all the time. Okay, so over here, some things that you really want to know about. You'll see when we go to modules that before we go to modules, recent announcements will be posted here, but only the 3 most recent announcements will be here. Once we get past 3 announcements, you have to go to announcements to see them. And I've posted some announcements they're ready to go. When the course opens, they will automatically appear, one on Friday, maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Some of them you need to pay attention to because you need to respond or reply to that announcement. There, I set my expectations. So this is my usual voice tone. I want you to remember that when you are reading my feedback that I write on your papers, or when I write something in a post, or when I post an announcement. This is my voice tone, just talking to you. Instructive, never critical, never angry, okay? I don't make assumptions about people. I think people are doing the best they can with what they have at that time. Okay, so over here is the syllabus if you want to look at that overall. It's pretty general. Here is where you will find your grades. And when you submit a paper and I write back to you, or there's a discussion and I grade that discussion, you will come to grades and you can click on the actual paper that you uploaded to see my feedback to you. Now, why would this be important? Well, sometimes I don't take points off. I just say, hey, next time make sure that you do this. But if you don't see that and you make the same mistake the next time, then I take points off. So you could prevent that just by reading my feedback, okay? Here are all the people that are in the class. And then finally, this is where all the action is. When you open the course, you'll come here to the home page, but this is where you are going to, you're going to interact with the course. Everything is here. It's one-stop shopping. So I'm going to move myself around so I don't cover up anything. So hopefully you've seen some of this in the orientation. When is work due? Plagiarism, Canvas overview, campus organization. The Personal Support Center is there available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in case you have an issue with the program. Okay, if you have a problem and you have a question about some content in the course or how to complete an assignment, you want to ask me about that. But if you go to submit something and it won't submit, then you want to ask Personal Support Center. Okay. Here are major projects and assignments. Sorry, I've had a cold. There we go. And I've posted some videos here for you. Some of them are instructive videos because with assignments, and some are other kinds of videos. So let's just go through these. This is something that talks about discussion forum grading. Oh, I'm in Safari, and actually Firefox would be better. I don't have any issues, but I can't always see whatever the icon is here because I'm in Safari and not in Firefox. If you have trouble in one browser, try changing browsers because that can be that can solve the problem for you. Here is, see here, Mozilla Firefox. There it is. Bad girl right now. So adding a word count extension to your web browser is important because as you go through the program, you are going to be writing discussion posts, and those posts need to be a certain number of words long. Your responses need to be a certain number of words. So following these instructions will help you easily know whether or not you have met the word minimum requirement for your post. Here's some guidelines about writing posts. I think you're in a master's program, you can read that. And this is a discussion rubric. Now, I have provided you with these videos. These are to help you when you are writing your process notes. So the first video about group roles, this is about generally about roles that we might have in our family. It's a longer video. You might want to watch it in chunks. I talk about how group process applies, particularly using family as an example. In there is a section about roles, actual roles that people don't really know that they're in those roles, but it's the way that they behave in a group. Sometimes people might be an instigator, or they might be a collaborator, or they might be somebody who helps to explain things. Those are roles in a group. This is a shorter video and it's specific to those roles. You'll be asked about roles in your process notes. And we're not talking about some of the role plays that you're doing. We're not talking about that at all. We're talking about you observing your group and what kinds of actions people take in the group that say, I think this person might be an agitator or a collaborator or an instigator or somebody that's an educator, right? Here is a video made by Dr. Barol about process notes, their purpose. Here are some guidelines. So each week that there's a process note, you're asked to reply to different questions. So it's very important to read the instructions for each process note to know in week 1, what are you talking about? In week 3, now what are you talking about? In week 5, how is this different? In week 7, what would be different about that? Okay. Here's a really handy video that Dr. Jen Norton has made for you. And this is about formatting your process note. You need to create a format that makes it obvious where you are answering questions, okay? I'll go through in week 1. You have a process note due in week 1. And I've also I didn't make you a process note video. I usually do that after you actually watch Dr. Barol's video, and then you turn in your process note. And if there are issues, I will talk about that in the weekly video, or I might talk about it in feedback to you, or I might even message you, okay? There is an emotional intelligence paper that's due in week 2. And this is my instructional video for completing that paper. If you find anything though that doesn't quite fit with what you think is going on, feel free to tell me. I teach almost exclusively online. I've been teaching at Widener for 12 years, 13 years, maybe more. I've been full-time for about 8 years. And so because I teach online a lot, sometimes I make mistakes. So it would be helpful to me if you let me know that perhaps I'm talking about something in 2 different ways. I'm giving you 2 different directions. I don't mean to do that, okay? And I hope that you'll be open to feedback too, because that's all a part of being a clinical social worker. It's what makes us better. It's not a criticism. I don't take it as a criticism, and I hope that you won't either. All right, so these are the written instructions for the emotional intelligence paper. And there's the grading rubric. There is a next steps in development paper and professional development paper. This is my video helping you understand what you are to do in order to complete this assignment. This is due in week 6. I'm sorry, yes, it's due in week 6. And so here are the written instructions. Formatting is so very important in this program. You are likely to get better grades if your paper is well formatted, meaning that you're using headings, subheadings, and that you're addressing each one of those clearly. Okay, and then you will be working in a small group, and there will be a presentation, and you'll be using Zoom as a way to create a video. So this is my video instructing you on how to complete this small group presentation. So no matter what's here, you might have questions about it. Please ask me. Please, please, please ask me questions. Okay, these are the written instructions. You're going to be doing a role play, and your group will be meeting weekly using Zoom. And we'll get to how will we figure that out. We'll get to that. Okay, there'll be somebody needs to write a report each week. Your group will not meet in week 1. The first time your group will meet will be in week 2. Okay, there's certain places to post those, and I'll show you those when we get there. Okay, this is about me. Let's go back to the modules. And here we are in week 1. Okay, so let's go through week 1. And then we'll be done for now, okay? I don't want to overwhelm you too much. It's already overwhelming entering a whole new program and maybe online for the first time, and this is a whole new course, and I'm not sure how this is all going to work out. And I do hope that if you have issues that you'll reach out to those people that have been assigned to you to support you in being in the program, okay? We want to keep you. We want to help you get your master's degree. Okay, so learning resources appear in each week, and they will always include your reading assignment, any videos, and possible PowerPoints. So here is, and everything's linked. All you have to do is click on this, and it opens up the document. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to have any special equipment. Just click on it, and then it downloads, and then it opens, okay? This is plagiarism information. You want to start out from the very beginning, understanding what plagiarism is, and doing everything in your control to avoid plagiarism, because students that plagiarize are not allowed to stay in the program. So it's really important that you learn about this. Here is a video by Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman will, there's some reading by him that you will use in writing your emotional intelligence paper. In this case, he's talking about social intelligence. Here is a video about meetings and making recordings of meetings, okay? Don't forget to check your email account. So make sure you go through here step by step. Now, I'm using the next button. There are other ways to see what you want to see. I'll show you that after this window. So this is all about the best practices in order to be successful in using Zoom. I use Zoom all the time, and I rarely have any issues. I know that one of the instructions is to use headphones, but I find that sometimes headphones actually cause issues. So I've not used headphones with mine. For some people, they need to use headphones because it's easier to hear that way. So, you know, if you end up in a Zoom room and you're meeting with your group and things aren't quite going the way that you would hope because there's lots of static or something, unplug, plug in, try different things and figure it out. Here's some helpful hints on what to do about that. Okay, so now I can go to the next screen, but instead I'm going to go back to modules and show you. I can go to the next screen this way. So here I am back in week 1. Here's week 1. So we'll start back here at the reminder. Weekly assignments. So you will be meeting with your group. I encourage you to start out with Zoom. You have 6 weeks before you have to provide a finished product. In week 5, you will practice. So, and there's no group in week 1. So that means that 2, 3, and 4 are your chances to work out any issues you might have in the group meeting on Zoom. The more that you use Zoom, the more comfortable you will be when you go to have your to videotape, okay, for your group. Well, you could use there's other technologies. You need to see each other though. You cannot use a technology that doesn't involve seeing each other. So you can't call each other on the phone. You could do that in between your weekly meeting if you wanted to. You could have a group text, but that doesn't count as a small group meeting. You have to be able to see each other. Okay, so here are the activities for week 1. First, you're going to think about and then write down 3 agreements that you would like to make that would help you feel safe being in the class. And give a rationale. Why do you want to make these agreements? Okay? So we'll create an environment that's safe for discussion and practicing new skills. You're new to each other. This is a new group. We have a big group. This is your big group. There's a small group that will be the group that you end up being assigned to. You'll have a dyad that you're interacting with. There's lots of opportunity for interpersonal processes in this course. So once these are turned in, your initial post is due by Thursday. So your rules or your agreements are due by Thursday. And there's no required response to any of your classmates. So you just post it. You might want to go in and read what people wrote. At the end of the week, I will have compiled all of the agreements. They will be in no particular order, and then I will post that in the course so that you can see that. When it comes time for you to be in your small group, you want to bring these agreements into your small group and make these agreements in your small group. Some of you might even want to do that with your dyad partner. Okay? All right, next up. So here is a second discussion. In this discussion, you are going to record and upload a video. And in this video, you're going to introduce yourself. You'll do that in 1 or 2 minutes. Okay? And then, who are you? Name, and how you would like to be addressed, So if I'm Virginia, I would prefer that you call me Ginny. Nobody calls me Virginia, okay? But when you see me in the course, when you look for my name to message me, it's Virginia. They won't change it to my nickname, okay? Where are you from? You don't have to give the exact city or your address or any of that stuff, but it would be in general, be nice to know what state you're from, what coast you're on. We have sometimes people in the courses who are out of the country. That would be helpful too to know. What's your work experience? Share whatever you feel comfortable with about personal kinds of things. And then how do you feel about starting the online MSW program at Widener? So you need to fit that into about 2 minutes. I mean, I guess you could go to three, but try not to go longer than 3 minutes because everybody wants to hear who everybody else is. And if there's 15 people in the course, that's 45 minutes of video, all right? If my math is right, which sometimes it's not. All right, you're going to follow up with at least one classmate. You're going to respond or reply to one classmate. And that your post is always due on Thursday. You can make posts earlier than Thursday. You can make posts in the week before if you choose to do that. But your response must be made after the posts are due. So I'm okay with you responding between Thursday and Sunday, but not before Thursday. And if you need to do that before Thursday, then you're going to message me in the inbox here in Canvas and say, I got this going on. I really need to, I'd appreciate being able to respond early. And I mean, unless you're asking me every week, I'm always going to say, yeah, sure, of course. But then I also write it down because if people are just responding early, not paying attention to this, didn't ask me, then I will take points off for that. Okay, here I have posted my introduction and my video. And I posted something here, take it or leave it. The courses are all about things that you have to do. Sometimes it's kind of nice just to interact with people. So I just asked you, so tell me something that makes you feel excited, 3 words or less. For me, cooking, running, and grandkids make me excited. There's a lot of other things too, but these 3 are pretty much at the top of my list. Here's my video. When I put my video link here, the link came out, I pressed enter, and then it automatically embedded the video. Okay, next up is a dyad activity. So by Wednesday of week 1, maybe earlier, depending on how many of you fill out the availability poll, sooner rather than later, I will post a list of people who will be dyad partners for the whole rest of the course, not switching around. You get a partner, that's your partner for the rest of the course unless something happens and, I don't know, you can't work out a way to engage with each other. Sometimes we have a triad because there's an uneven number of students in the course. So by Wednesday of week 1, I will have posted a list. You're going to reach out, have a conversation with your dyad partner. This you can do FaceTime, Skype, by phone, not email, not texting. It needs to be a little closer in interaction than that. You might reach out to them and say, okay, let's set up something, but you are going to have a conversation as a practice run using teleconferencing technology. So in the conversation, you're going to talk about what led you to enter the social work program. What do you hope to do with your MSW degree? You're not going to report this anywhere except for in your process note for week 1. Okay, so here's the availability poll. Take the survey, set up like it's, the format's like a quiz, but there's no grading for this. So you'll fill this out and you will say, it lists time frames when you are available, and you'll choose your first, second, third, and fourth choice. I do my very best to try to keep everybody within the first, second, or third choices, but that doesn't always work, depending on how many students there are in the class. And sometimes, like most people seem to be available either on weekends or in the evening. Sometimes people are available during the day. Occasionally, not too many people are available during the day. And so if it happens that you tell me that you're only available during the day, well, then I might have to reach out to you and say, yeah, I don't have anybody I can put you in a group with. So here are the options. And then you can say, okay, I'll join this group. Okay? Doing this as soon as possible is very important. Okay? I actually try to create groups and then give you dyad partners where you're not in the group with your dyad partner. So you'd be with somebody else outside of your group. Okay. All right, so here is the process note for week 1. It says due by Sunday night, always at 11:59 because the system won't let us say midnight. You will talk about your dyad content and process. So content is what you talk about, and process is how did that conversation go? Did you feel awkward? Was it uncomfortable? Were there long silences? Did you both talk over each other? That's the process. The content would be, we talked about wanting to be in the social work program, and we hope, I hope to work in the medical field, and my partner hopes to work in domestic violence. Okay, that's it. Straightforward. Not how you felt about it. Nothing about how it went, how the conversation went. The content is just straightforward. What did you talk about? Okay, so you're going to answer the following questions on the process note. Remember, there was a in the major assignments area, there's a video that will help you organize or format your process note. Okay, content, 2 or 3 sentences. What describe your experience working with your dyad partner and with the technology. We called each other. I got through right away, no problems. We tried to use FaceTime. We couldn't connect. We had to try Skype. That didn't work. We finally called each other, and that did work. Okay? Now, how did you respond to your dyad partner? How did you feel inside while you were talking to your dyad partner? And then how did you express yourself outwardly? So I might be feeling nervous. Oh, do they like me? Am I saying the right thing? Oh my gosh, I can't get 2 words out in a row that sound like they make sense to me. I might be going through all that stuff inside. But outside, I'm calm. I'm just talking. I don't have a loud voice tone. I'm trying to be professional, courteous, polite, all of those good things. But what I feel like on the inside is not necessarily a match to how I'm expressing myself on the outside. And then, how did your dyad interaction affect you? That's the process. Your response and the dyad effect are the process. So this process note is submitted only to me, only I see it. So you can be open about what you're thinking and how you're feeling, and let me know if you're having issues, okay? I might say to you, hey, if you're having issues with this, let's figure out how you can address this issue with your partner or your group. Now, the large group, that's the whole class. So in the whole class, there will be a group of introduction videos in week 1 and an ethical discussion in week 1. So reflect on the introductory videos and the icebreaker. Did any of your peers move or validate you in what way? Reflect on yourself in the large group. How did you present yourself to the group? And then how did peer responses to your post affect you? And this is why I don't want you responding before Thursday, because I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get a response so they can answer this question. And finally, the third part, which is a part of every one of the process notes. These questions change. There's not a dyad meeting every week, although there are several. And in the next process note, you're going to reflect on your small group, and there's a series of questions to answer for that. So here you are reflecting on, here. So this would take about a half of a double-spaced page. This is 2 or 3 sentences, and this would be a couple of sentences as well. So about 1 double-spaced page for this, 1 page, half a page for this, and then your reading will be always 1 page per whatever it is that you've been reading. So this is asking for APA annotated bibliography format. For more information about this, go back to the process notes that talks about format, and also major projects and assignments. So you're reflecting on the reading for this week. There was just 1 reading. And you're going to reflect on what the reading means to you. So first, you'll make a heading summarizing main points of the reading. Just tell me, what were the main points? I want you to write narrative, though, not bullets. 2, what did the reading mean to you? How did it make you feel? What are you thinking about? Did you realize something? Or did you learn something? Do you feel uncomfortable about something? And then 3, relate the reading to practice. Now this might be your present practice, or it might be, this is what I'm going to do in my future practice because I don't have a present practice. This is what I'm going to do. So make sure with every one of your process notes you have a title page. You do not need a reference page because the reference in this case only, in this assignment only, for the process notes, at the top of the reading reflection, you will put the reference. And then you're going to use headings 1, 2, and 3, and that your total paper will be 3 pages long and no more than 4 pages long, including the title page. So if you have 1 page for reading and 1 page for dyad and a half a page, or 2.5 pages, 3.5 pages with a title, and don't go over 4. The idea is to be concise in what you do. Here's the grading rubric. And we're back, and so now we're at week 2. So let's go back to the modules for week 1. We've gone through all of this. This is what you have to do. Right here, it's all your activities. Up here, learning resources, where your reading is. Okay? If you have questions, please let me know you have questions. And I will see you in the course. And by the way, this is a much longer video than the weekly videos that I make. My weekly videos are generally, I don't know, anywhere from 8 minutes to possibly 15 minutes if I think that there's some content I need to talk about. Okay? This is much longer because welcome to the course.